Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Dixie Protocol podcast, where we actually merge blockchain and AI innovation. And today we're thrilled to host a, let's say, trailblazer in the world of programmable economies and actually decentralized markets for autonomous agents. So please, Shashank, welcome. We're so pleased to have you here today. We're going to actually touch base on what is fraction AI, how it works, how it's actually reshaping the landscape, probably how it brings the singularity closer, and actually when this singularity will happen. And for sure, we'll touch base on all the actual market developments. So it's my pleasure to have you here today. Welcome.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here and joining your community, and looking forward to having this chat.
Great, great. So let's start from the very basics. Can you tell us more about your background to the audience of Dixie Protocol community and others who are just joining here today and actually don't know much about you? Can you tell us about your journey, probably a bit, backwards, a bit like before crypto and so on? What is your way?
Oh yeah, I've had a traditional Web2 background, being an AI researcher like all my career. I did my bachelor's and master's in computer science from IIT Delhi, which is like the topmost university of India. Used to be an AI researcher, part of our vision lab. At that time, we used to do research in self-driving cars, and mostly the deep learning approach that's used by Tesla and Waymo and like all the companies right now. So yeah, had some publications there. Then my first job was at Goldman Sachs. I was part of their core ML team where we were using AI for risk management, alpha generation, and so on. Then I joined an early stage startup and then a hedge fund. Early stage startup gave me like huge insights into how startups work when you have nothing, building from scratch. And yeah, it's addictive. And finally, I worked at a hedge fund where again using AI to for market prediction, for market making, and so on. So yeah, it's always been in AI. And then wherever I went, it was like AI. I could see how AI was getting better and better every time. But it's only the big companies that had access to the best possible models out there. So just wanted to level the playing field a bit, and crypto is a great way of doing that. It's the only place where you can tokenize value and ensure that value is exchanged in a trustless and verifiable manner. So that is what attracted me to crypto. So I got into something called Nerval Fellowship, which is something on the lines of Thiel Fellowship, started by Sandeep, co-founder of Polygon. And yeah, that's how I got in. Then started Fraction AI, launched a few products, few iterations over time, and got thousands of users. So right now our protocol is live on mainnet. We have around 170,000 users on the platform in just 2 months. It's live on base. We have had 2.4 million sessions so far, and it's continuously increasing. So the feedback has been like super awesome. And yeah, also in the meantime, we raised like 6 million from top tier investors like Borderless, Spartan, Anagram, Foresight Ventures, Symbolic, and so on. And they have been a huge support throughout our journey so far. Even angels like Sandeep, Ilya, co-founder of Near, Michael, co-founder of Zero Gravity, and many cool guys. Crypto has some super cool people, big brain people. So yeah, it's just a pleasure working alongside them.
Yeah, that's a great journey, and for sure we'll touch base about Fraction in quite deep in details today. But let's probably a bit more focus on you. So when exactly your way in crypto started?
I would say it was somewhere towards middle to end of 2023.
Okay, so you're like in comparison, you're quite new. In relative
Yeah.
way, you're quite new in crypto. Okay, so that's great to involve more and more fresh, actually bright brains into this space. Because back in the day when I started, I mean, it was like a complete mess. Because anyone, like almost like no one exactly knew what to do and how even simple for Web2 things are actually done, even like marketing or something like that, and everything was applicable, everything was working. So it's just fun to observe. That's
And
great.
also, just to add to that, so academically, I've been in crypto like before. So when I was in college back in 2017, 2018, I did a master's level course in blockchain. And So that was more around the tech, how it works, what are the cool stuff that's being built, but not crypto per se, but like blockchain technologies. And yeah, it was just pretty cool. One of the best courses I ever did, which set the stage for where I am right now. So yeah, got into crypto later, got into blockchain like a lot earlier.
Exactly, and as you said, I totally agree with you that actually blockchain is the right technology. More even, I would say, blockchain than crypto to tokenize something, to program something. I think it's exactly the time when we finally see that okay, we can right now we can leverage blockchain actually to program and tokenize some economies and merge it like with a real sector. Because back in the day, I mean, it was more about like to extracting the value and taking advantage, of the market, let's say, for most of founders and for most of builders in Web3. So right now, it's like the time where we actually have enough like first of all adoption, secondary it's like in second hand we have enough regulation, and finally we have enough like tech essentials to actually merge Web2 and Web3 and have some real value. So it's a great thing and great time to actually start running Fraction AI. So at this point, can you tell us more about what actually Fraction is, how this idea came to you, like in any terms?
Yeah, so this idea kind of evolved over time. The main vision was to enable everyone to have access to high quality AI models, and yeah, just make sure those models are not static; they get better with time. Because as we see, every day there's a new model coming out, and if you're just stuck somewhere, you're not going to be able to compete. So yeah, just wanted to level that playing field a bit. And yeah, over time we arrived on what we have right now. So it's a decentralized intelligence platform for AI agents. You create an agent that for a specific field, for a specific space that you're interested in. So could be trading Bitcoin, managing your assets like top 10 crypto assets, or even like playing games, game theoretic positioning and so on. And you create agents for those spaces and then compete against other agents to have the best possible performance within that space. And your agent learns from its mistakes by acting within that space. So this is classic reinforcement learning. Instead of learning from static data, learn from your actions. And that's how humans learn as well. We hardly learn anything from books. It's more about taking actions, doing something, taking feedback, and doing it better than how you did before. So yeah, we are just bringing that to agents. And agents right now are smart enough that if you just put in the right loss function, the right feedback, they'll be able to learn from it. So yeah, just bringing that to everyone.
And how you exactly, transform this feedback into some training material? Because yeah, for sure, like, are you running your own, let's say, models that you are trying to like bootstrap and train on actual user data, or do you use like some, let's say, layer 2 framework on top of existing models, which allow you to optimize like your agents from time to time?
So the good part about AI is there's a lot of high quality open source models out there, and it would be foolish to like start from scratch and train your own models. It takes like probably 10 to 15 million dollars to start a model from scratch, and that's assuming your first run gets you the right model, which never happens. You have to like try several things and find only then it converges. So yeah, we use the best possible open source models out there, and there's an algorithm called LoRa, and there's a advanced version called QLoRa, quantized LoRa. So that algorithm only changes like the last few layers of the model. So instead of like learning everything from scratch, you only update some of the weights of the network, and that's highly efficient, and that's how we are able to do it. And that happens on the data generated during the sessions. So every time there's an action, finally there's an outcome. So for example, your agent is trading Bitcoin. It took a trade within some market condition, and the price was something. So that all data, and finally, whether your model made a profit or not, goes to the model, and then it learns, oh, this action wasn't good for this time, so I shouldn't be doing that next time. And if you do that millions of times, the model learns to generalize.
I took a look on the fraction before this stream, and I'm just curious. Can you tell me more about this gamified, let's say, competitive approach to training? You have some sort of spaces. Can you tell us more what are those leaks? And how you actually what are you leveraging with that?
Yeah, sure. So our training algorithm is inspired from GRPO, which was first introduced by DeepSeek, and that is how they were able to get to high performance that they did. So the way it works is instead of using a human to evaluate model outputs, you take like 5 to 6 outputs of multiple models and compare them against each other. So it's local ranking instead of a global measure, and then you can use that data to train your models better. The disadvantage is the quality of this data might be a bit low, but the advantage is scale is probably a million x. So the scale makes up for slightly lower quality, and that's how you get that advantage. So we are just doing that at planet scale. Anyone can create an AI model, an AI agent with just their instructions, high level instructions. And then in every session, there are multiple agents trying to generate the best possible output for that session. And then we can compare their actions and the outcomes of those actions and select the best possible actions by comparing them locally.
Okay, but users themselves, they are actually interacting with those agents. For instance, okay, you have some sort of session where you are trying to troubleshoot some sort of question, and users are actually creating their agents, and they are interacting with those agents, with their own agents or others' agents, or how?
You create an agent and make it live, and the agents are randomly matched together and they compete against each other.
Okay.
So that's how it's scalable. You only have to give your insights once, and agent will just act on your insights. It's like an intern which never sleeps, never gets tired, and works 24/7.
So it's sort of like agent versus agent, right? So it's fully asynchronic sort of battles, agents versus agents, right?
Yeah, from the user perspective, it's like that. You're just creating an agent, making it live. The agent is there to execute your insights, and over time, agent will learn from other agents and will just do things better.
Okay, and in the end, we've got the best agent which is actually solving a specific question in this space, right?
Not in the space in a session, because the same agent never takes the best action all the times. There's no one good agent. It's every agent is learning on their own and becoming better on their own, because otherwise if there's only one model, it's centralized, and nobody owns their model. It's us who own their model. So we don't do that. Every user has their own agent, and their agent learns from their actions only. So yeah, every agent is different.
Okay, gotcha. And your final goal is sort of to create a sort of, let's say, marketplace where you have got a bunch of various agents which are good in specific application, and you actually allow owners to benefit from the use of those agents. And actually,
So I don't really like the term marketplace, because that means the platform is just there for listing. Our platform is more like a gym and a marketplace. So you bring your agent here, train it to make it better, and then you can productionize it. You can take it live. You can create an NFT out of your agent and make it available to other users, and so on. But the main part is continuous improvement. It's not that difficult to create a marketplace for agents. There's thousands of them, but it is difficult to have a platform where any agent can come in and leave better than what it was before.
Okay, gotcha. But this is sort of let's say, real world asset platform as well. As soon as you actually allow to tokenize sort of IP, let's say, let's call it like that, which has a real world application and can actually benefit the owner.
Yeah, the thing with IP is it's static. You created something, and then you're just tokenizing the IP there. Whatever you created an IP out of, it never changes. It stays the same. Mickey Mouse has been the same since it was created. But the thing with AI agents are they're not static. They can become better and should become better over time. And we are capturing that intelligence as we are tokenizing that intelligence, and intelligence is not static. So that's how I would say they're a bit different.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for that. That brings me a lot of more like clarity to what Fraction is. And you're like claiming that Fraction is going to be decentralized. Yeah, for sure. This is the whole idea. And how exactly, and how deep this distribution is looking from your angle?
Yeah, so the decentralization is more about how agents are evaluated, because they're learning from the feedback, and if the feedback itself is wrong or it's controlled by someone, then it's that person can control what the agent learns and what it doesn't, and which actions to favor, which actions to not. So that's the part we are decentralizing right now. So using our token, users will be able to run their own judges, help in evaluation of agent outputs, also run training nodes, which help upgrade the model. Decentralizing the part where agent gets the feedback and trains to become better. Over time, we'll also integrate other platforms. So even if you create an agent using ELIZA, you can bring that in, make it better, and take that with you.
So you mean that you also you mostly decentralize the sort of reputation system for those agents, right?
I would say reputation system is something more static. The outputs of agents are pretty dynamic, and there's a system which evaluates those outputs in real time. So that system is not like a rule-based one, and each space is different. So that dynamic system itself, which is able to evaluate all user outputs over time, that is the platform.
Okay, that's a great stuff. Okay, I think our listeners might be curious because Fraction is a pretty, let's say, young project, just upcoming, let's say, and we're actually living right now in the time where market is very vibrant, everything is boiling, a lot of things are going on, new narratives. So Fraction seems to be quite a narrative right now, and it might be very interesting for the audience to actually try it out and see how this can evolve in the further stages. So can you tell us more about your actual challenges, your actual stage? What are you looking for right now? How probably community can contribute, participate in your existing current stage? And what are your next milestones?
Yeah, so our North Star has always been generating value for our users. So we have always focused on acquiring users, making sure creating a product that they are interested in using and using over a long term, making sure they are getting value out of the platform, and that value is long term. So that's why we have only so far we have mostly focused on getting users, building the product with them, getting their feedback, implementing those features into the product, and so on. And yeah, we have grown pretty consistently. We have a huge community right now. There's more than 100,000 people on our Discord, around 100,000 people on our Twitter. And yeah, it's a vibrant community. We haven't directly reached out to any KOLs. So yeah, that's why you won't see us on Kaito or Cookie DAO on top, because it's mostly about smart followers there. But yeah, we have a grassroots movement, a grassroots community who is interested in using our product, interested in generating value out of their AI agents.
Nice, for sure. I always admire the projects who are focusing on the building or something like that, because it's not. Back in the day when I was actually joining this space, it was not a popular thing to actually build something. It was more popular to take an advantage of the market. So, for instance, Dix is something that is also built for years of development and millions of dollars of in comparison to the time which was spent to strategize, build, audit, and launch something like that. So I also admire something that I feel in Fraction in your approach. So can you tell me more about your further steps? When the Fraction is going to be live, probably on the, if I understand you right, you're in the testnet right now.
We had 30 million sessions in our testnet in just a few months. We were controlling 90% of Sepolia testnet, which is the official Ethereum testnet. We've been live for it was surprising for us. And we have been live on Base for 1.5, almost 2 months now. And yeah, it's been great feedback. The value I care about most is number of users, number of active users, and it's consistently growing, and that's what I care about.
And what are actually like the insights that you probably learned from users? Because it's quite a lot, like especially for the Web3 space, it's a lot of like retail users. So what are like the most meaningful insights that you probably can take from this?
Yeah, it's more been about UX and features. It's always about the details, making sure the product is easy to use on phones, on desktop. Make sure you can log in from anywhere using your email. So we use Privy for that. Yeah, just those small details to make sure a product is easy to use. Even if you go now and check our ideas channel on our Discord, you'll see every day there's like 5 or 10 requests for features. Because they always want something, or allow me to set a new background because I like this color more, or I want to be able to change my agent name to something like this. So yeah, there's like it's about the details.
Okay, but from the perspective like of your actual like jobs to be done, let's say the agents themselves, what sort of agents or probably what sort of sessions you can highlight like for our listeners so they will better understand like the core value?
We have like a huge diversity of that. There's like 4 spaces live right now, but they cover the breadth. So on the extreme serious one, we have BTC Trade Wars, where you can create an agent that trades Bitcoin, and you can come up with like highly complex strategies. Some of them are already built and out for you, so you can like select those, diversify across multiple strategies, and your agent will like run your trades and see how it works. And you don't compete against the market, you compete against other agents. So it's a slightly easier, and over time when you start doing well, we allow you to take your strategies live and the agent trades on your behalf. The second extreme, which is look like more fun stuff, it's a space called Bit-Tacto, which is about game theoretic position sizing. So you create an agent where it plays tic-tac-toe, but it's different because you don't get alternate turns. You have to bid to take your turn, and that amount is spent. So you have to bid perfectly to pay the right price for getting that turn, and you win if you like make 3 in a row, or your opponent gets bankrupted. So both start with $100. Say you bid 20, I bid 10. Your agent like gets the turn, it gets to place wherever it wants, and so on. So that's more about game theoretic position sizing, which is useful in trading as well, but it's somewhere on the fun side.
Gotcha. And for instance, like, can I actually, for sure, I think this is like pretty obvious that you'll have something like that like in your roadmap, but can I actually connect like those agents using API or something? How can I, for instance, like use the outcomes like of your Bitcoin bars or something? Can I actually start like running your agent like to trade Bitcoin, like I don't know, like using some APIs or something?
Yeah, you can take it live on probably most of platforms. Right now, we are working on hyperliquid integration. So the first phase is you have to create a good agent, and that takes time. You have to compete against a lot of agents, and only then your agent becomes good enough. So we launched that first, and then to take it live, we'll add another feature. So yeah, that integration is coming soon.
Okay, great. So that's for sure. Yeah, I was sure that you will have something like that, but just to make it clear. So what are your further steps? When are you going to add like more networks, more agents, more spaces, more features, like anything what will be like interesting for our users?
Yeah, more spaces for the platforms that users actually interact with right now. So probably Polymarket, probably Hyperliquid. So instead of like sitting and doing those trades yourself, you can just come up with a simple strategy, tell it to your agent, and the agent executes it for you based on the conditions. So it could be something like there's some market on Polymarket, and I believe 50% is a good price to buy at. So you can just tell your agent, okay, buy it whenever the price falls to like 50% and stays there for some time, and sell it whenever it rises to like 60% again. And yeah, the agent will just execute that for you, and you can just chill.
If I understand you right, like you have some sort of fractals or something like that. Are these like actually points, or what are those pieces?
Oh yeah, those are points. So there's 2 versions of points. The ones for using the platform are fractals, and the ones for engagement are FABs. So that's what we started recently. So we were looking at ways to incentivize people for engaging with the platform and reward them for quality engagement. So that's how we came up with FABs. We were thinking of going with Kaito, but we didn't have enough control there because Kaito gets to decide which content is good, which is bad, and we don't have any control there. So we just created something for us like over a weekend, and the feedback has been super good. We have seen like engagement go up like that, and we reward people not by the number of followers they have, but by the quality of the content and the impression it generates. So yeah, it's the community has been loving it.
Great. So this actually like leads me to the feeling that you are like planning to launch like probably token soon or something like that as you are like cooking, preparing. So what are like the key probably market events? Let's say not like tech or product events or key market events or I don't know any other like from the perspective like of the business of the go-to-market, any other like milestones that also might be interesting for us?
Yeah, it's some project integrations, some really close integrations, like with like those are super cool ones. I can't disclose them right now, but yeah, they are coming.
Okay. But are you going like to launch token in this year?
Yeah.
That's a great time, actually. So I think it's a great time to launch something. It's a good thing that you already have nice traction and have enough users, great community, and actually the product, which is very important. So it's a great job. I think it's more or less like clear from the Fraction AI perspective. But probably let's touch base and let's talk more about like the world we're living in. So how do you, like as a man who is actually on the frontier of tokenizing AI, like decentralizing AI, making it more accessible, make it more programmable, how do you think like the world where we're living in like will change probably in the next year, in the next months, something like that, with all those new developments that are quite fastly, quite rapidly being integrated in any niche of like our living. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about AI in general, not just decentralized AI. So the pace at which AI is improving, it's just surprising, and like we have still not hit a ceiling on LLMs. They're just keep getting better every time we even with chain of thought reasoning, we still haven't hit the ceiling. Every new model is better than the previous one, so it's anyone's guess whenever it's going to plateau. And based on the pace at which it's going, a lot of jobs are in danger. So if you don't learn to use AI in your workflows, or you're not in like top 1% of the creators in whatever you do, yeah, you're definitely at a risk of being replaced. So I used to work at Goldman like a long time back, and I would argue a lot of those people, what they do is easily replaceable. It's only like a small percentage of people which add most of the value. Power law holds everywhere. So yeah, if people don't like start taking leverage of AI to contribute more, it's going to be difficult. I can't even imagine how the economy is going to look like in next few years.
Okay, we've got like, let's say we've got artificial intelligence that can actually automate like so much processes mentally and finally physically by having like some robotics and other systems that can perform physically and also automate like so much processes. So what exactly like human life will look like in the nearest future, when everything is so much automated, and finally thanks to blockchain we can actually program it and ensure that processes are distributed, like probably they are less manipulated, they're more transparent and secure by actually accountability and programmability that blockchain gives. So we can truly build like this sort of programmable automation economy where humans, they probably don't need actually to do much. What do you think, like what is your perspective, like how this can look like?
So I would have wanted, you must have already heard that joke. I wanted robots to do my laundry so I can focus on my art, but AI has been doing art and I have to do the laundry. And that's because robotics is in general difficult. When you are dealing with software, it is easier to make things replicable and make sure they work perfectly. Whereas in robotics, the environments change a lot, and real world is just difficult. When you program something to go 15 degrees here, it's never 15 degrees, and that error just kind of compounds. So yeah, that's why it's robotics. I would say it'll take a bit of time. But most white collar jobs where you have to sit down and work on your screens, a lot of that will definitely be automated. But then new roles always emerge. It's like more high tier work. There's always something to do. So it'll be more, I would say, new roles will be created where you'll need to use AI and do something with AI which adds value, and then new roles will come in. So it'll look a lot different from what it is now. There will be kind of professions which we don't even know about as of now. Nobody could have thought of cab drivers back when horse carriages were there, or even before horse carriages when there was nothing to drive. So we can't imagine those. But yeah, it's going to look a lot different than what it is right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. But do you think like that actually decentralization of like let's say global AI models, like some decentralization of some sort of AGI or something? What is like your thought? Is it like actually crucial and important?
Depends on your doomer hypothesis. How much you imagine AI taking over the world. If your probability of that is high, then definitely we need to decentralize intelligence and make sure everyone has access to intelligence. But I would say right now there's a lot of companies doing AI, and a lot of the models are open source. We just need to make sure that intelligence is available to everyone, and not just available, they know how to use that. Otherwise, it's a tool they don't know how to use. So just to make that available, I think decentralization is necessary.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think you're probably also like hearing thoughts like that, but even like Sam Altman and other guys like that back in the day, like this term of singularity, it was like quite popular like thousands years ago. But like right now, like this term is rising back again. So that we're like 1 or 2 or something like that, like years from singularity. What do you think about that?
Two things. So when I did my AI course back in college, they used to teach us about history of AI, and there've been AI is not new. It's been there since 30s and 40s. Even neural net, even before that, like 20s. And neural nets were invented in 1950s, but there wasn't enough hardware, wasn't enough research, so it didn't catch on till 2012. So and AI has seen a lot of winters. Every time there's a new thing, a new huge thing comes, it hypes things up a lot and doesn't deliver, and then for a long period there's no investment in AI, and then again something pops up and there's a lot of investment, and then there's an AI winter. So I mean, in crypto we believe in cycles, but but in AI I believe this time it's different because we still haven't hit a ceiling on LLMs. So yeah, we have to see. Second point, we also need to look at incentives. Sam Altman leads OpenAI. It's in his incentives to say AI is like the biggest thing ever, and not just AI. The AI they are creating is like the biggest thing ever, and it's going to reach singularity and so on. That's like asking CEO of Texas Instruments, should I use a calculator or not? Of course, he's gonna say use a calculator.
Yep, exactly. I can agree. It's the same that Elon Musk is like telling that, okay, like in 10 years, robots are going to actually like fly to the asteroids and like, collect some materials there. But yeah, we totally understand that this, in moment, this just brings like a lot of buy-in pressure in the Tesla shares, and like probably
Yeah, I mean,
that's the point.
It's his job to shill his back, so that's fine.
Yep, exactly. I would like also to touch base a bit like on the market itself, because obviously like we are building like something in the Web3 space. So it was good to hear your thoughts, like for our listeners and for those who are getting acquainted with the fraction AI. What are your own thoughts, like of how exactly, what are we going to achieve on this specific, like as you said, like cycle, as we do like them in crypto? What this cycle will be about? Probably what will be the greatest gain of this market cycle?
Yeah, I mean those answers are always wrong, but I'll still take a guess. So just to give you some context, when we were doing that Nalwar fellowship, so someone asked Sandeep the same question. I think it was in 2023 towards the end, and his answer was it's gonna be gaming. And we have seen how gaming tokens have done. So even a person like him isn't able to predict the market. No, nobody can predict it. But I would say, based on the situation right now, it's probably going to be some combination of RWAs, AI, stable coins, and so on. There's going to be, if it's something more related to TradFi, that seems to have more weight right now. So that seems to be the direction in which market is heading.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense for sure. Like we can't predict it, but I'm just interested, like in your own like thoughts for sure. Like it's very intuitive. So what do you think about like the statement that this is probably some sort of like the last bull market, because a lot of like big institutional players are already like on board. For sure, they will probably like wash out some huge volatility that was that was like previously here, and a lot of like also regulators will come into the space. And the market will be more regulated, less volatile, more stable, more for sure inflated in terms of like capitalization and so on. So and this is like the sort of the last cycle when we'll see like a huge excess. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case because U.S. government is like highly crypto positive right now, and they are working towards regulating it. So yeah, it's definitely going to go towards regulation, like every industry does. Happened with stock market. It even NYSE used to be like a wild west, and over time they realized, yeah, this doesn't work. We have to make sure people don't lose their money to scams. But you in crypto we kind of also lose our freedom with that. It used to be that CryptoPunk thing where anyone could tokenize anything sitting on their couch and sell it to anyone like sitting in Zimbabwe. And I don't think you'll be able to do that anymore or like do that in a legal way. So yeah, we lose that, but we gain more credibility, more stability, and so on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always like the different sides of the axis. Like actually, what you're looking for, like total freedom. Yeah, for sure. Like you can go to the forest and live there, but probably you won't have like all the comfort there. Okay, and it's probably some question of sort of complete prediction. But what do you think like will be the all-time high for Bitcoin?
Oh, there's no top. It's always going to go up.
Always gonna go up. So
Yeah.
nothing will actually. So you don't think that Bitcoin will have like some top, and probably Bitcoin will be replaced with some smarter technology, like in this, let's say, century, for instance. Do you think that it will actually be some sort of digital gold, like for the next dozens or couples of years, like for the next period of time, right?
Yeah, Bitcoin has surpassed technology. It's way more than that. It's technical enough that it just works, and it's not over engineered. It simply works. It works for everyone, and yeah, it's beautiful.
I can agree. I'm just asking because like people have very different thoughts,
Yeah.
so it's just interesting, to find like different perspectives. So from the perspective like of probably regulation, as I can also say, I think that it's quite surprising because I think crypto space, it's like only starting to be regulated enough, but now like okay, legal officers, regulators, they were just a bit struggling in trying to regulate crypto, but suddenly bam, and they have AI, which is also hard to regulate. You also need to like really break your head, break your brain to solve it. And now you have like tokenized AI, actually crypto plus AI. What do you think like being like actually a great representative of the space, do you have any limitations right now? How your like interconnection with your users is actually regulated right now? Do you have any limits, or anyone can just simply join Fraction and start building their agents, using your agents, actually benefiting probably from some successful cases that they are performing, and so on?
Yeah, we use crypto for regulation. So the difference between regular crypto and using AI in crypto is regular crypto, it's mostly transactions. So transactions can remain on chain and everything is on chain. With AI, you have to use GPUs to run models. And you can't run a model on chain. So there has to be an off chain component somewhere. So it is what it is. So it's if you want to create better agents, you would be a fool to not use GPUs, interconnected GPUs, or existing models that are out there. And crypto is a great way to coordinate value across the globe. There's no better technology than that. If you were to use, say, Stripe, you have to get into their API calls, what is allowed, what is not allowed, where you can send money, where you cannot, minimum transaction amount, and so on. With crypto, it's anywhere, anytime, I can just send it. So we use crypto for coordination, making sure the transactions between agents are decentralized, we are not controlling them, and their evaluation within every session is decentralized. So blockchain is our coordination layer, which is used to train better AI models. And as long as that is decentralized, AI tends to remain decentralized.
That makes a lot of sense. If I understand right, like Fraction is actually also like issuing assets. So you can issue some assets to tokenize some sort of agents, right?
Yep. Agent is an asset, so you can definitely tokenize that.
Yep. So you are issuing some, let's say, tokens on chain.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't launched our token yet, and the ability to tokenize your agents isn't live right now. But yeah, it can be.
So what do you think? Can we actually, and what if we actually make AI to be in charge of let's say distribution and initial offering? Because back in the day, like we've got ICO. Now, like actually, we've got like some IDOs or IEOs, something like that. A lot of like tokens are actually, a lot of assets, a lot of projects are actually going to their market via airdrops to make some sort of fair distribution to satisfy regulator and make some distribution among community sort of things. So do you think like AI can actually replace this? Because we were talking about like reputation models, and you said like a right thing that, okay, reputation model is something static, but okay, we can have AI agent or model or whatever it is, which is actually in charge of like this distribution, and you can try to prove like this AI model that you like deserve some supply or not in a specific like tokenized asset or a specific I don't know, like token asset, whatever it is, which is like going to the market. Is it something that matches like probably Fraction vision, or what do you think about that?
There can definitely be agents doing that, but the current agents do have a lot of blind spots, and there's ways of getting your outputs that you want with some adversarial inputs. So I wouldn't trust it fully to make decisions like that. And we have had experiments like that before, like Freyja and many more, where you could interact with an agent and try to extract the money from that agent. So without limiters on what an agent can do with the wallet, I wouldn't trust an agent fully with the wallet. And believe me, I've been in AI since like 2012. We always want to imagine AI as some person who's like always live, who has a brain and who likes to think and who can make good decisions. But AI is a bit weird in a way. It can be super good at things where humans are bad at, but it can be super bad at things which are just common sense. So yeah, you never know when it's going to like send your send your money or your keys to some random wallet because that guy just asked for it nicely.
And why actually, like probably my last question is, what do you think, like why actually AI is so bad like in these super subjective things where like people are so good and vice versa? What is like the reason for that?
There's a phenomena called variance collapse, whereas as humans, we take uh, at any point we can take a lot of different decisions. But whenever an AI is trained, it is trained with some output, and with the loss function, you kind of restrict it to make a certain decision. So that kind of limits its thinking. But if you allow it to do anything, it'll hallucinate a lot and just do a lot of random stuff. It's a design thing. It's a bias and variance thing. So if you increase the one, the other also changes. So there's just yeah, it's a modeling issue right now. The current models can only do that much.
Yep, but I mean, do we actually can overcome it like by actually extending our models or like exchanging some like GPUs, whatever like we use, some calculation scale and so on? Can we overcome this, or
Yeah,
this is
no.
the design question?
No. So with LLMs, you cannot provably say it won't do something. It's not possible because the space of outputs is infinite. It can generate any token. So no matter how much you tell it to not do something, it can be jailbroken. And that's the thing with LLMs. Any new model that comes out, it gets jailbroken in like 10 to 15 minutes. So yeah, that it is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, thank you, Shashank, for this great discussion. It was a great pleasure for me personally. I think for our audience as well, it was like a great and insightful discussion from the AI perspective, from the frontier of actually this innovative merge of blockchain and AI. So it's a big pleasure for me. Is it anything else you would like to say, like probably some message that you can give, like to the community, like of Dixie and Fraction altogether, some final message, like some inspiration for for them?
Yeah, I would say blockchain and AI are probably not probably are the two most transformative technologies of our lifetimes, and it would be a shame if you weren't involved with either. So go to Fraction AI, create your agent, make your agent better over time. It learns from your insights, it learns from other agents, and see how your agent becomes better over time.
That's a great completion for our talk. Thank you, anyone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. Thank you, Shashank. Was a great one. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Nice having you.